Yes. Okay. So we have this. These are the planes which is bounding the volume. We are going to find out the volume of this portion which is bounded by these planes. So to do that, as you know that x equals to 0, z equals to 0 is denoted by your coordinate planes, yz, and is your xy. If you consider the line that is x equals to 2y, that is this line, and then another line is of your this another plane is of your this one, that is the intercept plane. If you consider x by 2, y by 1, and z by 2, that gives you this plane. Now we are going to find out which portion is that. Then we can draw this 2 point of intersection, that is the plane meeting with this one and this on the xy plane. The intercept will give you this point, that point since on your xy plane, so we can write down that the point of intersection is your 1.5, and therefore the volume we need to
Your system
calculate.
is not moved. It is freeze actually. It freezes.
Yes, sir.
This cursor.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Cursor is not moving.
No,
Sir,
sir.
as well as
The
the
exact
screen.
same problem as the previous
Sir,
day.
No, sir. It's targets freeze, sir.
Maybe
Slide freeze.
Sir, same problem as previous, as we faced in previously.
Okay, but okay, I just see that I am writing again the problem. Is it possible to visible simultaneously or not? Can you see that what I have written?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay, okay, so I'm writing here.
It is visible.
So find the volume of the tetrahedron bounded by your x equals to 0, z equals to 0, x equals to 2y, and x plus 2y plus z equals to 2. So if we draw this one, we can have something like this. So we are giving this one is your y, this one is your x, this is your z. So x equals to 0, that means this yz plane, this one, z equals to 0, that is xy plane, x equals to 2y, that is a plane which is passing through your origin in your xy plane. So that could be like this. If you consider this is the plane which is the intercept form, x equals to 2, y equals to 1, and z equals to 2. So we have to connect them. So by the connection of this, there is the point of intersection is this. So we now no need to consider that xy plane, the whole portion, because that is if you consider that is of your basement. So this time we have to bound by this line. So the volume we need to compute for the region like this. So whose basement we are considering this one, on which we are going to take the integration. So therefore, if you draw the basement for your xy plane, y, so we have this one and we have this one, something like that. So therefore the point of intersection we can consider here, and for that we could take that the range for your y first as a strip, and the volume area under this small strip, that will give you that complete portion over your z. If you consider over there also, okay, so that's a complete area under this small strip. So therefore what the range for y is, that comes to your this is the line y equals to x by 2, and up to this one, that is your This is a portion where your z equals to 0, that is x plus 2y equals to 2. So for x plus 2y equals to 2, that gives you y equals to some 1 minus x by 2. So therefore this portion is 1 minus x by 2. That is the range for your y. Now we can move it from your x equals to 0 to x equals to this point, and that point is your point of intersection of these two. So that is your 1 minus x by 2 equals to x by 2. That gives you, that is 1 equals to x. Okay, 1 equals to x. So that is the point of intersection. This point comes to your 1. And for y is equal to half. 1.5. So therefore the domain on which we are taking the integration, that is d equals to, you can have xy such that 0 less than, it is for your x, I think, yes, 0 less than x less than equal to 1, less than equals to x less than equals to 1, and y has its range from lower to upper, that is x by 2 to 1 minus x by 2. X by 2 less than equals to y less than equals to 1 minus x by 2. And the integrand is your, as you know that z is represented in terms of your x and y. So z could become in the form of your 2 minus, I think that should be 2y. So that is your 2y minus x. So therefore the double integration over d, that is your z dA, dx dy or dy dx. Actually we need to find out first dy. It is dy and dx.
सर और एक बार बोल सकते हैं?
क्या बोलो?
सर पूरा और एक बार बोल सकते हैं? मेरा नेटवर्क खराब था थोड़ा सा, तो मैं पूरा सुन नहीं पाया. और एक बार बोल दीजिएगा.
So we have this region on which we need to take the volume. We need to calculate the volume. We are getting that your xy plane for z equals to 0, that is your xy plane. X equals to 0, that is your yz plane. Then we have x equals to 2y. This is a plane passes through origin. We have x plus 2y plus z equals to 2, which is a plane. If you write down in the intercept form, we can get this one. Now your plane x equals to 2y, and in the xy plane, these two are intersecting at some point. So what we are doing in case of your finding the volume, we calculate this integration, double integration z dy dx. Okay, now to compute this z, you can find it out in terms of your x and y, that is z equals to 2 minus 2y minus x. Now for this to compute the volume, we need to compute the what is the base on which we are taking the volume integration. So to compute that one, we are considering the base is this. So if it is your base, then we know the equation of this line, because if you take that z equals to 0, it comes to x plus 2y equals to 2, and that gives you y equals to 1 minus x by 2. If you consider this is the line, then this line means this is the, yes, this is the line on this plane, xy plane, then y equals to x by 2. So we can take a strip for your parallel to your y axis. So we can have the range for your y is x by 2 to 1 minus x by 2. Now if you make them equate, so that will give you the point of intersection of these two lines, that is this point, because this strip will move from your x equals to 0 to this point. So the range for your x that comes to your x equals to 0, that is your y axis, as you know that equation of y axis is x equals to 0, and the point of intersection of these two lines is comes to your 1. So therefore the range for your x is 0 to 1, and the range for your y is x by 2 to 1 minus x by 2. That is the range on which we need to take the integration. We know that z is, so if you substitute, then you can do that integration. I think it's not too much hard.
So can I write z dx dy?
You can write, but whenever you have to do that integration, you just see that this y has its range for your y is function of x. So you could not do that in dx as a first. You cannot do the integration with respect to x as a first, because the range is with respect to your y. But if you are going to compute with respect to x first, then you have to take the strip, and that time what will happen, that region you have to divide into the two portion, because there is a strip portion, so that we could not be considered as a whole. So that's why we are taking the integration with respect to y first and then x, and that's why we are writing that dy dx. Okay, so I give you the next problem that will clear you all the time we could not write down that dy dx or dx dy, because sometimes we could not do the integration or we could not evaluate without changing the order. Yes.
Sir, how do we know what is the lower limit and the upper limit in the previous problem?
The point of intersection.
Oh, achha. Okay, sir.
Sir, please explain the
Evaluate.
difference between double integral and iterated integral.
There is no difference exactly. Actually, directly the double integration could not be evaluated. So sometimes we can evaluate. Most of the times, actually, we evaluate the double integration by iterated integration. And what it happens is that just iterated integration comes to your single integration. Okay, it transforms to your single integration. It's just like your function of single variable and function of multivariable. In case of your function of single variable, you just take that the total differentiation every time, the change of y with respect to x, because there is only one independent variable. There is no thinking about that. But when you have more than one variable, we could not take the total differentiation with respect to one independent variable only. Okay, so we have to take the partial, that the changes occur in the partial. Now, in case of your double integration, I have shown you the first class that the thing you have, if you consider this type of curve, so what will happen? This will give you much more clear idea. If you go through, this one is straight, this one is also straight. So if you go through, you will get that. Yes, you can get that if you consider any small curve on this upper surface, any curve on this upper surface, any line on this upper surface, so that will give you a curve. So we know that the integration, single integration, gives you the area under the curve. So that gives you a single integration by fixing one point on your, if you consider this one is your x-axis, this one is your y-axis, and this one is z. Okay. So if you fix some point on your x-axis, then you take the integration that will give you the area under the curve. So that is the same thing you do in case of your differentiation. Whenever we have the curve and we are going to find out the changes of that curve with respect to both the variables, that is your y and x, we could not compute as a whole. So that's why we just fix one of the variable x or y. And then with respect to the other variable, we just take the differentiation. We just calculate the changes occur with respect to that independent variable. That's we need to do. So that is actually the process through which we can evaluate the double integration. Iterated integration is like that. If you have a you can think of sometimes you have that repeated limit and the double limit. Okay, so that repeated limit is that repeated times we fixed first one variable and then we evaluate that integration, and then we evaluate the another limit. We consider one of the variable is your fixed, and then we evaluate the you have that the limit, the limit as x tends to some point A, limit y tends to some point B, and you have the function f of xy. Okay, so what we do, we first fix that x and then we take the limit for your y. Then after what the value is, if that will be exist, then we can take the limit with respect to your x. Okay, that is the repeated limit. So in case of your iterated, the same thing is there that if we are considering that the double integration we could not be evaluated directly, we don't have any idea what the area is, then we can break it into the single variable and then we can evaluate it. Okay.
So, sir, it's iterated integral is a simple way of calculating double integral solution.
Exactly. Okay.
So,
You
sir,
may
how
know
is
that
it possible
if
that double integral does not exist, but iterated integral exists?
Double integral does not exist, but iterated integral is exist. Yes, because double integration, whenever you are considering that the area, that the small strip you are considering here, and then after the volume you are considering, you just see that integration you may not be evaluate. Okay, because directly you are considering here in that case your the area is. Okay, but if you consider that only a particular line means only with respect to one axis, then you can get it that the area under that curve, if the curve is your continuous, then we can find out that integration, iterated integration is there being present.
Yes, sir. Sir, if the area is unbounded, then the iterated integral can be there, but the double integral cannot be
Will
evaluated.
not be there. Exactly.
So basically, iteration is a process to solve double integration if possible. The region
Yes.
is bounded.
Yes. Yes, bounded. Yes, bounded also we can consider, or continuity also. Continuity also gives us the boundedness. Yes, very good.
Thank you.
Sir, in the previous graph, we can also take the lower part of the graph, but why we take upper part? Means in XY plane. First question.
X equal to 2. X equal to 2 means y axis, I think.
In the previous class, you are saying, or you are saying now the first problem.
Now, page 4th, the graph is drawn.
Yes.
The today,
Yes.
so there are x equal to 2y divide that xy plane means it in the two part we have take and calculate through the upper part. Why not we goes for the lower part?
Big sir, I think because x equal to 0.
I am not taking that x equals to 2. I have taken that x equals to 0 because this is your y-axis.
No, sir. Why do we take the base in the xy plane? That part I did not understand.
You can take any other way. You can take any other plane, any other coordinate plane. We are taking this one because of that. We are taking this one because of that. Most of the time we are finding the area in terms of your xy plane. Okay, you can take that yz plane. There is no issue. But the thing is, if you are considering that yz plane, there will be no matter, because you just think that if you want to go for your yz plane, then you have to write down that in terms of your x equals to in terms of your y and z, and then after we have to find out the range for your y and z also. So we have, if you consider this one is your the range, that is your z, and this one is your y. So the point is of, in this case, if you consider this one, so what that line is, that line x equals to 0 gives you 2y plus z equals to 0. So if you're going to find out on your z axis, that is your fixed, so that you have on your y range, that is y equals to 0. Y equals to 0 to z y equals to minus z by 2. Sorry, it should be 2. Y plus z equals to 2. That's right. So y equals to 1 minus z by 2. So that time your y range is from your 0 less than equals to y less than equals to 1 minus z by 2. Okay, and then you can move it on your z axis, that gives you z equals to 0 2. Now you find out the point of intersection of this line, that is equals to z equals to 2. Therefore the range is 0 less than equals to z less than equals to 2. It's not that we need to be find out on this way.
Sir, okay. In the left figure, left graph, there are two triangles. Sir, we have calculated through the upper triangle by considering the strip. Sir, why not we go for the other triangle, means this one, the triangle attached with x-axis?
Yes, sir, for the lower portion of the.
No, why triangle should we consider this one? This is bounded by your x equals to 2 by y, 2y. So that the basement we are considering here, that is bounded by these two lines. So we should consider this portion.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir? So can I calculate the upper limit or lower limit by the given answer?
Given answer means? Answer means what?
Some question have the limit, or sometimes 0 to 1 or 0 to x dy dx, and the answer is given, and we have to find the x for what value the answer is that given answer.
Couldn't understand your properly your question is. Okay, now you see that the next problem is you have given the range for your x and y, that is the range for your y and that is the range for your x. So if this one is your y equals to x and this is your y equals to 1, this is your x equals to should be 0 and x equals to 1. So if you draw this one again, that is y equals to x, something like that, y equals to 1, so it's parallel to your x-axis, it is y equals to 1, it is y equals to x. If you consider if you are going to find out that the integration what we are taking, we are considering here the strip, something like that.
Sir.
Yes, then it moves from your x equals to 0 to that point of intersection. Yes.
What is Cavalieri's principle?
I do not know exactly that. Where from you heard the name?
Need to change the order of integration?
In this case?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we need to change the order of integration. That's why this has been given, because you can see that whenever we are going to do that integration, we have to do the integration with respect to y first. But if you're going to do that, it means you see the integrand, you can see that this one is not being possibly be integrated. So therefore, we need to make it change so that we can integrate with respect to x first, and then after we can integrate with respect to y, so that some of the y terms will come up. So to do that, so for that order of integration, we are considering here.
Sir, what were you saying that time?
I'm saying that in this case, we need to make changes the order of integration.
No, sir. When I asked you the Cavalieri's principle, you were saying something.
I have said that I have not heard that name. Okay, I need to go through that one.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So where from you get this one?
Sir, I got from a book that was recommended in the syllabus.
Okay. So what that statement says, so that you could not understand?
I saw on YouTube, but I can't solve any problem here. So I asked you. Means the topic is given in the book, but I can't understand what type is written.
Okay. Okay. So that you have y-axis, that you have x-axis. That's the equation for your x equals to 0. So that is equals to x equals to y. So we can now change the integration of order. That is x equals to 0 to x equals to y. And then we can make this from y equals to 0 to y equals to 1. 0 to y equals to 1. And then the same integrand, sine y square. We first do that integration with respect to x, and then we do that integration with respect to y. Then it will helpful to us to solve that integration. Okay. So with this, I conclude your problems on double integration and iterated integrals. Now,
sir, I have a doubt.
Yes.
Sir, this is regarding the class LKDs had taken.
Okay.
Where a theorem stated that if a function f is bounded on R and is continuous except possibly discontinuities along a finite number of graphs of continuous function, then f is integrable on R. What is mean?
I think it's better
Yes,
to
sir,
ask
we
you
did
this.
not take Fibonacci theorem.
You should ask the LKD, sir, but I am saying you in this case it may be something like that. You have a function which has its your discontinuity at finite number of points or countably finite number of points. So if you have it, then you can break it into countable number of those points where you have the function has its discontinuity. Suppose in between A and B, you have a point C where the function is not your continuous. You can break it, that is A to C and C to B. And you can exclude the point C also by taking that A to C minus epsilon and C plus epsilon to B.
Okay,
You can
sir,
repeat this one.
Okay,
You can
okay,
repeat
sir.
this one for countable number of points. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. I get it. Thank you,
sir. हेलो सर.
Yes, I'm listening.
सर आपने जो यहाँ पे किया है y is equals 0 to y is equals 1 और x is equals 0 to x is equals y, ये आपने तो मतलब इस ग्राफ का जो पोर्शन है वही किया है, और sin x to the power स्क्वायर dx dy इसका वैल्यू कैसे निकाले सर? मतलब इसको कैसे ग्राफ में प्लॉट करें?
इसको क्यों ग्राफ में प्लॉट करेंगे? This is, I think you have not attended your first class. This is the surface. Okay, in XYZ plane, this is the surface. We are going to find out the volume under this surface. So whenever we are going to find out the volume under this surface, so that is the surface. We no need to be draw this one. If you know the basement, where from it will ranges from your for your X and Y, we could find it out that way, volume under that surface. Is it? Whenever you are going to find out the area under the curve, if you know that what the interval within which you have to do the integration, that's enough for us. How it's look like, suppose you have that x to the power 2 1 by 3 plus minus a to the power 1 by 3. Why should you go for to draw that curve is? What is the range? If we come to know, then we no need to be draw that one. Okay, this one is not required.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, I think many classes you have been attended from LKD sir, and few problems I have given you some idea how to solve the double integration with the help of your iterated integrals. I think we should come back to the single variable calculus, which is well known to all of you.
Sir, can you tell the answer, sir? Answer of previous question, sir. We will match it actually.
I think yes. Answer can be said. Answer I have written. This one for your answer is
1 by 3.
Yes, 1 by 3.
1 by 3.
You will know. Very good. You know this one.
No, sir.
This one is
second problem actually.
1 minus
half, sir.
1 minus cos 1 by 2. 1 minus cos 1. Cos 1.
Very good. Yes,
okay,
that is the answer.
So that will be sine square half.
Sine square half.
Sine square half, sir. Yes. We will
yes, sir.
You can break it up.
Half
yes.
yes.
Okay.
Sir, at the end of the class, can you repeat the difference between integrated integrals and double integrals?
Why? Why you are asking the same question repeated
Because
times?
we are not still getting it.
But in the previous problem, you have done some methods to solve it. Is that method is known as change of order?
That method is
known as change of order.
Yeah, then no. Actually, we are changing that the integration order. Initially, we have that we are doing that integration with respect to y, then we are doing that integration with respect to x. So whenever we are going to change from your integration with respect to x first, and then you are integrating with respect to y, and that is method is known as change of order. Okay, you can give the name that the method is known as change of order. We actually give the names. If you are saying, so we give the names with means by some mathematician's name or by some specific rules are there. Yes, that method you can say to be that the change of order. Yes, if you change the variables of the order in which you are doing that integration, that is called, that may be called to be a change of order. Okay.
Sir,
yes.
Can I ask question in Bengali?
You can ask, but your remaining students may not be understood, so it's better to ask either. If you can in the breakup English, then it's also okay. If you can in breakup Hindi, then also it's okay.
Sir, please go on the seventh page.
Seventh page, okay.
Sir, here the first dy dx, if you consider the first graph on the left side, the strip you have taken, that is dx first. Did I write the dx? मतलब हम जब देखते हैं कि f of y dx, तब dx को x का स्ट्रिप होता है, इधर उल्टा लग रहा है मुझे, ये समझ नहीं आया मुझे।
No.
पहले वाला का dx स्ट्रिप है, दूसरे वाला का dy स्ट्रिप है।
Sir, just change the strip from horizontal to vertical.
सर मगर पहला जो sin y square dy dx
taking
है,
that dx, yes. This one will be. I could understand. What is your question? I could understand. That means you are saying that this strip we are considering that is on the x-axis, so we consider that is on your dx, and then that dx is moving from the x ranging from this to this.
Yes, sir. That is my question.
Yes, that is your question. But if we consider that the dy, that is on the dy, that portion. Perhaps we have the graph fixing on to x.
Sir, can you say the strip moves from x? Sir, can you say that the strip moves from x equal to 0 to x equal to y in the left?
This graph. One, x equals to 0 to x equals to y. That is your dy. That is actually the dy. What you are saying, you are right. Actually, that time we need to take then dx and dy. So that strip we have to make changes, and no, that strip is surface do you have? Consider that dx dy. I think what you are saying, that is correct. We have to make changes there. That is your dy strip. Now that d.
Sir, dy strip should be taken parallel to y-axis, na?
Is parallel to y-axis.
The previous one is right, sir. And the dy dx is not needed. The order is not needed, as the limit is termed as y equal to x. So the integration, inner integration
should be with respect to y.
Y.
So
dy dx not mean.
Okay. Because we do it like this way.
Sir, the strips which we show are according to the final integration, not the initial one. The strips which are showing, actually, if we divide it into further subparts, then it would be the first integration.
First one.
Yes, sir. But as you have shown the whole strip, then it means we're doing the second one. We're showing the second integration in according to dx. If we divide this strip into further subparts, then we can say we were telling about the first integration with respect to dy.
Right. We are fixing some point here for x. We are fixing some point here for x. Then we are taking the small strip along parallel to your y-axis. That's right. So I'm thinking on that. So we are thinking like this one. This is the small strip we are considering along your y-axis. Then that y-axis will move. That small portion is now moving from this portion to this portion. That's why we have taken that y equals to 1 to y equals to x to y equals to 1. And then this strip that you have found the area under this curve, that we are moving from x equals to 0 to that the range that you need equal to be. It's right. Thank you. What we have done, that is correct. Yes. So I'm thinking also that we have done like this way many problems now. He is saying, so just confused for a little bit. Yeah, thank you for guiding me. Thank you. Okay. So now for single variable, our most important, most meaningful theorem is known to you. That is your mean value theorem. And as you know that mean value theorem actually connects the local picture to your global picture. That is the finding the slope at a particular point to the average slope across the interval. And as you know that if we draw the thing, like this, the curve is, we can draw, that is the average slope by computing the difference between them and the point of interval between them, that is your A to B. Then this value is supposed to be f of A, this value is your f of B, and this one is your y equals to f of x. Then we must have at least one point within your AB such that it has its, at a particular point the slope will be attained. Okay, it has its many interpretation that is also known to you, and we can say that the value gives you f dash c, the point C is equal to your fb minus fa by b minus a. Okay, where c lies between a less than c less than b. This much is well known to all of you. We also find out that what I am saying you that it relates between your local to global. So therefore the differentiation, we compute that side your f dash c, that we could write down that the derivative df by dx, which we would connect with your del f del x. Del f is just that fb minus fa, and del x is the corresponding values of in between your x, p and q. If you consider this is your p and this is your q, then for that p and q we can get this your del f by del x. So as you know that of almost all the functions will not be satisfy if it will be, the statement is well known to you, that is the function should be continuous and the function should be differentiable in the open interval AB. Then we can get there is a point C for which we can have. The most significant theorem is also well known to you, that is the Rolle's theorem, and we know that the Rolle's theorem is a particular case of your mean value theorem, that is Rolle's theorem. Is a particular case of mean value theorem, and that is for your the one of the restriction we are imposing on this mean value theorem, that is fa equals to fb. We are getting that the point f dash c comes to your 0. That is the elementary thing. We can have the extension part of your mean value theorem, that is called the Cauchy's mean value theorem, and from the Cauchy's mean value theorem we can get the Lagrange's mean value theorem also. That Lagrange's mean value theorem can be obtained, value theorem be obtained from Cauchy's.
Sir, what is Cauchy's mean value theorem?
I will explain. Value theorem by considering gx equals to 0. This part has not been covered to you.
Is not
Yes,
covered.
sir.
Cauchy is not covered.
No, sir. After Rolle's Fibonacci theorem was explained.
Fibonacci theorem after Rolle's theorem.
No, LMPT is
Fibonacci theorem explained by LKD. Cauchy's theorem will be f dash c by g dash c is equal to f of b minus f of a by g of b by g minus g.
Exactly. Just the same thing. That's the same thing for your Lagrange's mean value theorem. If you are imposing on two corresponding functions f and g, which are your continuous over the closed interval f a b. So if you consider that f and g are the functions which are defined over, of course, that they are single valued, then the functions are continuous over the closed interval a b.
Sir, we can't hear you.
Hello.
No, sir.
No, sir, it's
We
fine.
we can hear.
No, sir.
So the function is differentiable.
You are audible, sir.
The function is differentiable over the open interval your AB, and we have some extra condition that the g dash x is not equals to 0 for all x in AB. That is, along with your GA is not equals to GB, because GA and GB comes to the denominator, we could not be consider the division by 0, so the terminal points, the functional values would not be same. If it be so, then we can have your the condition g dash f dash c by g dash c equals to fb minus fa by gb minus g. That is the condition, and in this condition, if you are putting the if you are considering that gx equals to your x, g of x equals to your x, then we are getting the Lagrange's mean value theorem. So that is your g of b is your b, g of a is your a, g dash x is your 1. So f dash c equals to fb minus fa by gb minus ga. One of the most important application of this Cauchy's mean value theorem is your L'Hopital's rule, or sometimes we call that L'Hospital's rule.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, here f and g are two different functions.
Yes, of course, they're different functions.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay.
So what this says that in this case we have the function f and g which are your differentiable. F and g are differentiable over the open interval AB, and we consider a point particularly x0 in between your a and b. The function is differentiable, and we have, suppose your f of x0 equals to g of x0, which is equal to your 0. With this, we can also consider that g dash of x0 is not equals to 0. All these conditions would have to be satisfied, then only we can apply the Cauchy's mean value theorem, and that gives you, for some point x, suppose if you are considering that a less than x less than x0 less than b, then we can have fx minus fx0 divided by gx minus gx0 is equal to f dash. In this case, we are considering that x0 is a point in between AB, so that can be imposed on your x0 by g dash of x0. Okay, now if you take the limit as x tends to x0, limit as x tends to x0, so we can have this portion, that is your f of x0 comes to your 0 by this condition, g of x0 comes to your 0. But if you take that, being that f of x0 is your 0, so that is your it comes in the form of your 0 by 0. So therefore the limit comes to the form, you have that x tends to x0, f of x by g of x is equal to your f dash x0 by g dash x0. Similarly, again, if dash x and g dash x satisfying the same type of criteria, then again we can apply the Cauchy's mean value theorem to make the form of the L'Hospital's rule in this way. But one of the most important condition is that your these two values must be is equal to 0. Provided that, we will not be use the L'Hospital's rule, because if you consider, it will be better if you explain that by an example.
So the previous slide.
Show the previous slide again.
Sir, in x and x0,
Sir, in x and x0 will be the extreme value, right? So f of x0 minus f of x by g of x0 minus g of x right now.
If you consider this one, then it will be, you can take the minus. There is no issue. But f of x0 and g of x0 is your 0. Just to make without that minus, we are writing in this way. Okay. So what I am saying that this will not be this will not be hold if this criteria, that is your f dash g of x0 is your not equals to 0. If this will not be hold, that is g of x0 is not equals to 0, then we could not be apply or impose this one to get the value of this limit by this process. So for example, if you consider that, I will come.
So in the previous slide, sir.
Yes.
Can you please?
Okay. Yes.
So the last steps, limit x tending to x0. So ये f dash x और g dash x होना चाहिए ना?
F dash x0 by g dash x0.
No sir, ये limit में जो है
fx by gx. You just apply the Cauchy's mean value theorem.
I did not get this statement because x0 is extreme in this case and it does not belongs to x comma x0. I did not get this equation.
f of x0 and g of x0 दोनों ही 0 है, इसीलिए बोल रहे थे.
I think you go through the slides later on, you will get that idea. Is it?
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So we are saying something about some of the example. Okay, I want to mean you some example that if this condition is mostly important, because if we are not getting that the function g of x is equal to 0, then it will not be satisfied this criteria also. Means the value of this limit will not be same as of this one. So for that we are considering here some of the example, that is your fx equals to some 3x square, suppose 3x square minus 5x, and gx equals to your 2x plus 5, 2x plus 5. Then we are considering here that the point, it's both the functions, you can see that they are polynomial functions, so they are continuous everywhere. And so in particular, any of the 2 points you can consider, and they are also differentiable. You can find out the differentiation. So we consider the point here is your x0 equals to 0. Okay. Now you can see that the limit for your g dash x, your g dash x, which is your 2 and which is your not equals to 0, whatever be the value of x is, so in particular that x equals to 0, it is also not equals to 0. But if you consider that the limit, that is limit as x tends to 0, your fx by gx, and also that the thing is that what I am saying, your f of x0 is equal to 0, but g of x0 is your not equals to 0, and that is equal to your 5. So we are not getting that g of x0 is not equals to 0.
So is it given?
Is it?
Given, sir, fx0 is equal to 0 and gx0 is equal to 5.
No, the function it is given. Then you just replace that x. Put the value x equals to 0. You will get that is equal to 0. Okay.
So answer will be simply 0.
So what will happen? Yes, the values comes to 0. But what that of your f dash x0? F dash x is comes to be your 6x minus 5. So f dash x0 minus 5.
Minus 5.
G dash x is your 5.
2, sir.
2.
Sorry.
2.
It's 2. It's 2. So g dash 0 is comes to your 2. So therefore we are getting that the value of your f dash 0 by g dash 0, which is your minus 5 by 2, which is not equal to your fx by gx as limit x tends to 0. because we are getting that g of x0 is equal to your 5, which is your not equals to 0. So if one of the conditions that we are considering that will not be satisfied, it will not be give you the L'Hospital's rule. It will not be satisfied. One more good consequence for your Lagrange's mean value theorem, as you know that by applying the differentiation, we are actually doing the linear approximation of the function at a particular point, because we are approximating by a tangent that represents by a tangent. So that help us to find out the root of that equation. That Lagrange's mean value theorem also help us to find out the root of that equation. Okay, so for that is called, actually maybe later on you will study this one, that is called Newton iterative method to find the root of an approximation.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, why x0 is taken as 0?
I could not understand why.
Sir, why x0 is taken as 0 in this example?
No further. Why x0
Because we
is
will
taken
put the
as
value,
0?
then we will.
Because x is tending to 0 now.
No. He is asking that why we have taken. This is an exceptional case that we are considering. You can put some another one, so that one of the function is you are getting 0 and another function you are not getting 0. Okay. It has been shown you the example for which that one of the portion means one of the function, if you are not getting to be 0, then it will not be satisfied. The value of the limit will not be achieved. Okay, which is not equal to your f dashed 0 by g dashed 0.
Okay, sir.
But x is tending to 0 in this case. That's why we have taken x not equals to 0 now.
Yes, we are taking that x tends to x0. That is the theory also. That x tends to x0, and then after once we are getting that it is in the 0 by 0 form, what we are doing in the L'Hospital's rule, that is we are taking the differentiation, and then we find out the values. Okay. You just recall your L'Hospital's rule and what you have studied, that is the Cauchy's mean value theorem. I'm saying that this L'Hospital's rule actually the consequence of your Cauchy's mean value theorem. Therefrom it is coming up.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so thank you for today. We have done
Sir,
much
please
more.
once explain
Thank you,
Fibonacci's theorem, sir.
Thank you,
Roughly
sir.
1 minute on.
Sir, you said something about
Fibonacci-
approx method.
Fibonacci theorem.
Is it?
Yes.
Is there
Approx method of?
Is there FB equal to FA into FB equal to FA
The numerical
plus H
method
into
of
F of
iteration.
Yes. That is another form. That is another form of your Lagrange's mean value theorem. That is f of a plus h equals to fa plus h into f dash a plus theta h, where theta lying between 0 and 1. You can take this one, or you can take that fb equals to fa plus some value, that is a difference, that is b minus a into f dash c. Okay, that is the form. So what we are doing in this case, actually you can see ultimately we are taking that the chord comes to approximated by the tangent at a particular point. So that's why I'm saying that instead of your average, we are going to that particular point. It connects from your local at a particular point to that average, that is the global thing. Okay, that average comes to the local thing, but because at each point we are computing the value, then we are taking the average, that is your local thing. But global thing is that whenever over an interval we just compute what the value is, we no need to be compute at each point, we just compute at a particular point that makes you equal. Clear? So that's the connection. Yes. And next class we if it is said that and just to communicate with your this single variable, then I will explain you that the how Newton's iterated method will help us, means can be useful from your Lagrange's mean value theorem. Yes.
Sir.
Oh, okay, sir.
Sir, in that concept you have written that f of x0 equal to g of x0 equal to 0, na?
Yes.
But in the next example, g of x0 is not equal to 0.
Yes, that I am saying you, that if the condition will not be satisfied, the limit will not be come to the same. Okay, that is f of x0 and g of x0 is equal to 0 is an means important point, or we can say that the necessary condition. Okay, that has to be. Yes. Okay, so I have taken your attendance. Thank you all.
Sir, Fibonacci theorem.
Please share the lecture notes, sir, after the
Thank
end
you,
of the
sir.
class.
Yes, sir. Kindly share the lecture notes.
Sir left.
So left.
Sir is not.
अटेंडेंस भी नहीं दिया.
अच्छा अटेंडेंस तो डाउनलोड कर लेंगे मतलब सीआर लोगों
अटेंडेंस डाउनलोड हो जाएगा भाई।
सीआर को बोल दो कि मतलब वो बोल दे कि लेक्चर नोट शेयर कर दे।
तो भाई
अरे
सीआर
ये
तो छह जन है।
कैबिलरीज मेथड कहाँ से मिला भाई?
शेयर कर देना।
हेलो, ये कैबिलरीज प्रिंसिपल कहाँ से मिला भाई?
अरे कोई बुक में लिखा
ये
हुआ
तो
है।
मेरे
सर ने जो बुक कमेंट की थी
उसी में थोड़ा सा
अच्छा ठीक, हाँ मुझे भी दिखा था लेकिन मैंने आंख नहीं किया। हाँ
सर
हाँ
ने
समझा।
सब लीव कर जाएंगे, रिकॉर्डिंग बंद हो जाएगा। सर भूल गए थे ना।
गुड आफ्टरनून टाटा।
कौन सा बुक की बात कर रहे हो?
अरे भाई रिकॉर्डिंग बंद कौन करेगा?
सब
अरे
निकल जाओ,
किसी को
हो जाएगा।
इंटीग्रल और डबल इंटीग्रेशन के बीच डिफरेंस आया तो समझा दो।
क्या बोल रहे हो?
इंटीग्रेटेड इंटीग्रल और डबल इंटीग्रल, मेरा नेट चला गया था ना।
भाई डबल इंटीग्रल को कैलकुलेट नहीं कर सकता, उसके लिए इटरेटेड इंटीग्रल करना पड़ेगा। इटरेटेड इंटीग्रल कुछ नहीं, बस सिंगल इंटीग्रल 2 बार यूज करना होता है, और डबल इंटीग्रल एक
रिपीटेड
सिंगल
इंटीग्रल ही लेना, इटरेटेड।
हाँ हाँ हाँ
सब रिपीटेड होता है।
डबल इंटीग्रल से हम मतलब कोई वैल्यू कैलकुलेट नहीं कर सकते हैं।
नहीं, डबल इंटीग्रेट बस डबल इंटीग्रेशन लिख दिया बस हो गया वो डबल इंटीग्रल, मगर उसको तो कैलकुलेट नहीं कर सकता। वो
नहीं कर
समझ
सकते, हाँ।
जाएगा कि हाँ वो एक एरिया है, समझा देगा, मगर उसको कैलकुलेट करने के लिए नहीं है। अगर तुझे
भाई
कैलकुलेट करना हो,
आज सर अलग अलग क्यों पढ़ा रहे थे? पहले मल्टीपल इंटीग्रल पढ़ा दिया, फिर ये सिंगल वेरिएबल।
पता
भाई
नहीं
ये
इनका
तीन सेक्शन का क्लास है ना, HIJ।
हाँ
इनका भी कुछ फिक्स नहीं हुआ है। तेरे सीसब तो अभी 2 दिन बाद, मतलब 2 दिन पहले खत्म हुआ, 24 तारीख को, इसलिए दिक्कत हो रहा है उनको।
कल से फिर से स्टार्ट है भाई। ठीक है।
अरे यही समझ में यार, अभी 4 टीचर पढ़ा रहे हैं, कौन क्या पढ़ाएगा? एलकेडी सर पढ़ा रहे थे मल्टीपल, फिर ये पढ़ाने
अरे
लग गया।
एलकेडी सर एच सेक्शन का तुम्हारा वो डबल इंटीग्रल ही ले रहे हैं।
एलकेडी सर
जे
सबका
जे
मैं लेफ्ट करता हूँ भाई, मेरा हो गया।
और कोई?
हेलो,
हाँ आदित्य बोलो।
मैं पूछ रहा था कि एक बच्चे ने पूछा था कि डबल इंटीग्रल वैलिड नहीं एग्जिस्ट नहीं करेगा, पर इंटीग्रेटेड इंटीग्रल एग्जिस्ट कर सकता है। फिर सर ने क्या समझाया था?
वो यही बोल रहे थे कि एग्जिस्ट करना मतलब निकाल नहीं सकते, एग्जिस्ट मतलब सिर्फ तुम उससे पढ़ के समझ सकते हो कि हाँ चीज़ है, मगर तुम उसको कैलकुलेट नहीं कर सकते। अगर तुम कैलकुलेट कर नहीं सकते तो एग्जिस्ट करने का मतलब क्या है, बस इतना ही बोला था।
मतलब हमें डबल इंटीग्रल कैलकुलेट करने के लिए इंटीग्रल कैलकुलेट करना पड़ता है।
हाँ इटरेटेड से करना पड़ता है, क्योंकि डबल इंटीग्रल एक मतलब 2 साफ है, 2 साफ से क्या ही कैलकुलेट कर लेंगे। इटरेटेड के पास कुछ लिमिट होता है, एक पहले करते हैं कुछ कांस्टेंट रख के, फिर दूसरे करते हैं, तो उसका कुछ मतलब बनता है।
ओके ओके गॉट इट। थैंक यू बाय।
ठीक है बाय।